In this assignment, you're asked to find the radius, the diameter, the circumference, and the area of a circle. And in each problem, they're going to either give you the diameter or the radius. So you have to find the missing numbers, and then you'll use those to find the circumference and the area. So you need to remember two things when you're working on these problems. You need to remember that the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the outer edge. And so in problem number 1, you see that line L extends from the center of the circle to the outer edge. That is the radius. And you need to remember that the diameter is a straight line that passes from one edge of the circle to the other and passes through the center point. So it divides the circle into two halves. So in problem number 1, you were given that the diameter was 38 inches. So if the radius is halfway across the circle and the diameter is all the way across the circle, then you know that you would just take the half of the diameter as the radius. So once you have the diameter or the radius, you can find the circumference and the area. You have to remember that the circumference equals pi times the diameter, and that area equals pi times the radius squared. So in problem number 1, we know that if we're looking for the circumference, we know that the diameter is 19. So I always start by writing the formula. Then I put in the numbers that I have. So pi is 3.14 times the diameter, which is 38. So the circumference equals 119.32 inches. Okay, remember, circumference is the measurement of the outer edge of a circle. So you are just measuring a line, so it's not going to be squared or cubed. Now to find the circumference of the circle for problem number 1, you are going to start by writing the formula. Whoops. So a circumference equals, area equals pi times the radius squared. So the area equals 3.14 times, and then again, the radius is the half the distance of the diameter, or from the center point out. So the radius is 19, half of 38, and we're going to square that. So area equals 3.14 times 19 squared is 19 times 19, not 19 times 2, it's 19 times 19, and that is 361. So 3.14 3.14 times 361 equals 1,133.54 inches, and then we do square that because we're talking about area. Area is all the space that's inside of the perimeter of the circle. Okay, for problem number 2, you're given that the radius is 16. Remember, the radius is half the distance of the diameter, so the diameter would be 16 times 2. So that's 32. So the diameter for circle 2 is 32. Now we're going to find the circumference of circle 2. So remember, circumference equals pi times the diameter. The circumference equals 3.14 times the diameter, which was 32. So the circumference equals 148 feet. And our unit is feet here. Okay, now let's find the area of circle 2. So remember, area is pi times the radius squared. Area equals pi is 3.14, and the radius of circle 2 they gave to us, that is 16 squared. That means 16 times 16. Again, remember it's not 16 times 2. Area equals 3.14, and 16 times 16, or 16 squared, equals 256. So the area of the circle is 3.14 times 256, and that totals 803.84 feet squared. Remember, area is how much space is within the perimeter of the circle. Okay, we'll do the third circle now. So we have the diameter of 10. So the distance from one side of the circle to the other is 10 centimeters. So that means that the radius would be 5. It's half the distance of the diameter. So our radius is 5. I'll write it there this time. So now we want to find the circumference. So circumference equals pi times the diameter. Circumference equals 3.14 times our diameter is 10. Circumference equals, now if I'm multiplying a decimal times 10, I'm increasing the amount. So I'm increasing the value of 3.14. So I'm going to move my decimal point one place. So it's 31.4. I didn't have to do any math or I use a calculator or anything. I just move my decimal point. So then our unit is centimeters, and it's not squared again because I'm just measuring the circumference, and that's like measuring a straight line. Okay, now the area is of the circle 3. Area equals pi times the radius squared. So area equals 3.14 times our radius was 5, and we're going to square that. Area equals 3.14. 5 squared is 5 times 5, so that is 25. Area equals 3.14 times 25 is 78.75 centimeters. And we're talking about area, so that is squared. Okay,